Just bring it in. Bring it in. There we go. 3, 2. Yeah. Okay, we're all good. And ready, go. Okay, again, welcome to number 30 of the FIFA Ramble live, where two of us discuss things and open the floor out, really. Of goings on, football goings on, other goings on, just rambling.
Just rambling away, really.
Just trying to thread something through. Football related, and then whatever else comes into our tiny little minds.
Yeah. So the first thing that came into my mind this week, snowed a bit, didn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
Can't complain about that. I think.
No, we got to see a couple of orange balls, which was
not in the Spurs game though.
No, not in the Spurs game.
Which was weird. Is that what? Because they couldn't find one.
I don't know why that was. It annoys me. We saw a lot of blue lines.
Yeah.
There's blue lines and orange balls, but not as much as there used to be, and that is irritating. Because, let's be honest, there was a lot more snow than there is in a lot of FIFA games. The minute there's a tiny little bit of snow on FIFA, bang, orange balls out.
Bang, there it is, orange ball.
Bang.
Orange
like
ball.
Barry Scott they are. They throw in those orange balls out there.
Bang. This week's I'm Barry Scott.
Yeah.
Oh, we're also aware that Spurs are playing Juve tonight, so we're going to keep track of that. And as part of, we're going to involve it in part of admin corner, I think.
Yeah, we'll check and see what's going
on. It'll be a continual admin thing because it's my favourite part of this is all the admin that goes along with it.
Yeah. So just again, like I did last week, because we are doing this across many platforms to. Anchor listeners, this is just for you.
Check out Anchor. Yeah.
Anchor listeners, we do list live every week on YouTube and Facebook. So come and watch us. I put a little mini podcast out the other day giving you all the old addresses, but it's at the FIFA Ramble.
And if you're not on Anchor, we are
Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and Instagram. On YouTube, we do it via the Calhoun Review.
Because we are unofficially sponsored by Anchor. Yeah,
we do. We're loving Anchor at the minute. So Anchor listeners, feel free to come over, like the Facebook page.
It's really cool. We like Anchor because we've had a lot of people send in questions in with just like voice recording a question.
Yeah, we do like Anchor. We do encourage that. If you want to send us any questions
or abuse. But the question would be better.
Yeah. So you can send, if you want to send us some questions via Anchor, that would be brilliant because we have had some this week, which is really good. We're really happy with the response on there. And now for Facebook and YouTube viewers / listeners, download the Anchor app. It's free. It's really good. We're on there. We've been really impressed with the reaction on there.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, and you can then ramble on the go. Listen to us. We'll be in your pocket.
It's like leaving voicemails, really. It's quite a fun new platform to use, which we're having fun with at the moment.
Yeah, it's good. It's nice as well that you can actually, you can listen to us on the go without having to keep the Facebook or YouTube app open.
Yeah.
Which is 2018. You'd imagine that YouTube have worked out how you can close the page down without still. With it while still playing the music that you listen to.
Would you say you've got the edge?
I think I'm close to the edge.
You're close to the edge. One step closer.
Yeah, I think I'm one step close to the edge.
Do you like Joey Barton's?
I do. We're big fans of the Joey Barton podcast.
I enjoy it. Do you know what? I still think he hasn't come out of his shell in that podcast yet.
No,
he's quite humble's not the right word. I think he's just quite introverted. He hasn't got used to playing with the format yet.
Yeah,
he's just getting used to it. It's like a little intro into his own thing. He's really good on Talk Sport though when he's on in the mornings. I just think he should just be he's more natural about it instead of not forcing it. I just think he's I really like it. I think he's good. What he's done though with that podcast, without going too much into it, is he stockpiled guests. Yeah. So it's not. So Rogan he didn't. Yeah, he hasn't. But whereas the ones he wants.
Yeah, Rogan stockpiles them and then does them live. Though. Yeah. So he will do one on a Monday and it will be out on Tuesday morning. Whereas Barton has done podcasts months in advance prep this.
Yeah, it's a really good insight, guys. So I'd definitely check it out. If you're a podcaster, check out The Edge.
The Edge Joey Barton is really good.
It's a lovely insight.
It's good. He's done
Woodward.
Danny Cipriani's this week.
The Dyche one's really good.
The Dyche one was really good. The Gary Neville one was really good. And the Gary Neville one brings us on to this week's question of the week, which Gary Neville said, and feel free to jump in with your opinions here, Facebookers and YouTubers. He said that he thinks that managers should have to field 3 players in their matchday squad. So their matchday squad of 18 has to include 3 players who have been at that club since they were, say, the age of 15. So at most. So if they joined when they were 17, it wouldn't count. But they had to have been at the club prior to them turning 15. And it was done in a way of producing homegrown talent and with a, sort of one eye on England and things like that. But it just...
And you through.
Bringing you through. So it makes you think of some of the other, ones you got. Like Chelsea would obviously struggle.
Yeah.
With that.
Well, they could just buy someone in and farm someone out.
They'd have to then, it would force them to play youth players.
Yeah.
Obviously United would be fine.
I think it's a good model purely because
it's an interesting way of doing it.
It's hard to
even United. I mean, United would be hard. They find it.
It's hard to find a loophole around that, isn't it? So I think it's got legs.
I just think it would be interesting. It would be. Again, I mean, right, what about the Welsh teams? We're actually talking, Cardiff City is on our running order this week. Cardiff City is one of the ones that we're talking about.
Yeah, Chelsea, we'll go into Chelsea a little bit, but yeah, both Swansea and Cardiff City, obviously because we are Welsh and in Wales, makes sense to talk about a little bit.
Yeah, we will be talking about Cardiff a bit later on. They're a little bit further down the running order, but we will be talking about Cardiff.
Yeah, Church.
But I just thought it was an interesting perspective because then you look at the squad you've got. You've got United they do it now. Lingard, Rashford, McTominay. They're 3 players who've been with them.
McTominay for Scotland, come from nowhere. 4 games in, holding down a position. Jose's loving him because of his head down work ethic, which is good. And it's a similar role to Deflection, isn't it?
Yeah. The only thing
that was a brutal tackle he put in, by the way.
Yeah, it was a bit tasty, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was a bit tasty. But I just think it'd be interesting.
You don't like that, do you?
No, he's not at all. I hate to come off all Andy Gray here, but it's a contact sport.
You Keysy and Gray. Oh, that makes me Richard Keys.
No, sorry.
Right, let's move swiftly on there. But yeah, I think it's a good thing because, like I said, I instinctively can't find a loophole straight away to dump on that Rooney. No,
I just think it would be. I think it's something has to. Not something has to be done, but I like seeing younger players being brought through. For instance, McTominay is the one. Again, there's going to be people who watch this who say I'm biased because it's United. However,
you are biased.
Rashford, Lingard are first team players at United. McTominay is now coming into it. There have been others over the years, more so than a lot of other clubs. Arsenal have done it.
Arsenal are doing it now.
Yeah, they're doing it now more. They've done it previously. They're doing it more now than they have done in recent. And it's nice to see, that in every club. I like I much prefer that. Harry Kane, Tottenham are doing it.
I think things should change towards that direction. It makes sense to do, and it should be with the youth at heart because I think that would be beneficial for everyone.
Well, it's either that or the other option is Chelsea. You just get a load of young players, loan them out, make money off them, sell them, and they go on and have career. And I know that happens at other clubs. United, in particular, Heaton, Keane. I mean, I could go on. Tom Cleverley, Fletcher. I know he was older when he left. Robbie Savage. Every club does it, but Chelsea seem to have turned their youth team into a revenue stream.
Fair dues. They've made that work. Everyone got hacked off with it, and it's not a sustainable thing. And it would have been dumped on if fair play had happened and everything else. But they've got around it. They've worked it, and Man City are in the process of doing a similar model with farming players in
Man City are never going to have a sustainable
creative ways, I would say.
Man City are going to have a very successful youth team, as Chelsea do. Chelsea, the Youth Cup, I think they've won it 4 out of the last 5 years. I might be wrong. I know they've just recently reached the semi-final again. But again, name me one player from those youth teams that's gone on to have a first team career at Chelsea. I mean, I'll make it easier. Yeah, none. None.
No. Almost.
They're bringing a couple
almost
through
De Bruyne
now. You've got you've got, but you know, it's just I'd like to see them. I would like to see, instead of like Man City, I would quite like to, rather than them try and sign Riyad Mahrez, I'd quite like to see Phil Foden play more games for them.
Yeah, but when Hazard goes to Real Madrid next season, it's the common sense thing to try and get Mahrez in, right?
He's one of the list.
Yeah. Did you see his free kick?
Yeah.
It was super, that, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think Mahrez is going to retire at Leicester. I don't know.
I appreciate the fact that they put him back.
Or he's going to go on a free transfer to like Marseille.
They handle that really well because there was no more drama off the back of it.
No, they did handle it well. It could have gone awry there.
Yeah. If they said, okay, look, we'll scrap all the accumulative fines you're racking up.
Yeah,
just get out there and play, and then just tap him on the bum.
But no, it was done
well.
Get out there. Yeah, it was done well.
And he is playing with the same vigour that he's shown.
He's always done that. Mahrez has always been.
I think he purposely fluctuates. It's weird. His effort that he puts in, and specific times like this move for January. He hauled ass in December and January.
Yeah.
To put, and that dyed his hair, got a bit of a notice in. But that's just hearsay. This is neither here nor there, is it?
No.
That's a bit of a ramble there, isn't it?
It is.
I've moved on. Astori.
Yeah, let's go.
Tell me a story.
Yeah, it's David, Astori.
Is it because you were on social media quite a lot with posting the news and everything? Is it because it resonates because he's like similar age to you and has got a family like yourself?
Yeah, I think it does. I think with this story,
does it hit home properly?
I think it hits home on 2 fronts really. One, because when you see the in memoriam sort of posts that went around, and you saw that he was born in 1987. Now, when he was born, I was 2. So it's a similar age. He's got a young family, but then also the fact that it's a sudden adult death. Now, sudden adult death there's a charity called SADS, which is sudden adult death syndrome, which my wife's worked really closely with, and we've she raised a lot of money for, and it was almost like the Muamba, Fabrice Muamba, that. When that happened, I remember reading a lot of stories of just like, he's a young, fit, young man. These people like this aren't meant to, people
go through rigorous health tests and this, that, and the other. It's not supposed to.
Yeah, and it doesn't, this is, it's these things don't happen to, now as working closely, not as closely as my wife's done the work. My wife's done the legwork. She's raised a lot of money for SADS. And people do, young, healthy adults do just drop
out of
dead.
nowhere.
They do just drop dead, and it's yes, because he's a footballer and he's fit and healthy and he gets all these health checks, it should have been picked up sooner. But these things can slip through the cracks, and it was very sad. It was that someone of 31, captain of his club, had gone and stayed in a hotel and overnight. Just from no more. And it looks as though like they've opened those big headlines made, salacious headlines, which my opinion is a lot of the papers used it just
as clickbait.
It was like, oh, they've opened a manslaughter case, which they did, but it was more because they have to go down every avenue that's available to them. But it looks like it's cardiac arrest.
So yeah,
so very sad indeed.
Pretty sad because he's similar to our age.
Yeah, it was.
And then boom, gone.
Yeah. Should we
crack on with Chelsea?
Yeah, let's
Chelsea,
do
Man
City
City.
and Chelsea.
I think it's harsh if anyone calls that display embarrassing, because it wasn't.
Yeah, Jamie Redknapp called it. Well, first,
I think there's a lack of penetration, which is always going to be a problem.
There's a video of there's always going to be a problem.
90.
There was about a 90-second video where City had the ball, and it was basically Silva was just playing it around to everyone around him, and Chelsea did. Well, not one Chelsea player broke out into a sprint. Not one of them.
I saw the punditry on it, and I think if I was Conte, I'd be really miffed to understand why they didn't attack when they should have. Like, there was a great thing that G Nev brought up. It's just like when they were bombing through, there was 5 of them on 3 defenders at some stage, and they didn't make the most of it. And I think Hazard was ineffective at top because I think they needed a bit of a French magic at
first. They could still be playing now, and Hazard wouldn't be hitting.
But like when they were on the burst, they went back instead of spread it and moved it forward and really made the most of it. So I think there was just missed opportunities. I think you know 1-0 is respectable. Let's just put it that way.
Because, compared to what some people have. Because
look.
There's
City. Not enough credit for Man City at the moment of what they're doing at the high level and consistency of what they're doing. They seem to be hitting on everyone else being so bad and so weak, rather than the fact that they are just like a wrecking ball of a team right now.
Yeah,
if not one of the best, most consistent on it team that you're going to see. That's why off the back of Arsenal being Arsenal, right? That's a hectic schedule what they've just come through. These last 2 weeks, and guess what? They've got AC Milan tomorrow. That is insane. Of what they've gone through, right? At a team playing in their peak at this really important level of the season, where they just want to finish the Premier League, as well as like they've won the cup as well off the back of it. They're just flying right now. And they haven't got Sterling, but they've got so much strength in depth. They're just performing end off the highest level. And there's not enough credit going towards Man City how they're performing. It's just how you can dump on like Chelsea in this situation, or Arsenal in this Arsene Wenger's fault, this, that, and the other. I think it's pretty unfair. Palace game. Hate the first half. I saw the first half, and then I listened to the rest on radio, on the wireless. I dabbed it.
I didn't watch some of the first half because my TV was being occupied by my 11-year-old. But then I watched the second half. What a great second half.
So we discussed this earlier.
Perspective, it was
we discussed this earlier. I think Jose Mourinho in the halftime just said, "Didn't dare Arsenal me."
Yeah.
Don't you dare. Get out there.
Yeah, he just wandered in and just went, "You're doing an Arsenal."
Yeah, and just walked off.
Yeah, and that was it.
I'll leave you to it. Chew on that.
Matic has got them in his locker as well, hasn't
he? A little bit of Matic.
Yeah.
In it. Bit Matic. So yeah, that was pretty good corner. One element which I was going to bring up with you, we haven't had a good news corner because it all seems really negative at the moment. Everything seems negative, and football fans are always negative. So you've got any good news?
Yeah, there is a bit of good news. This week we haven't been to good news.
I haven't seen it because this corner, we've just been in a circle. There's been no corners. If you found a corner though,
I found a good news corner during the aforementioned snow.
That's a good one.
Sunderland announced that they were opening the doors of their stadium to the homeless. So they set out. They got a conference room, and they turned it basically into a place where the homeless and people who could. There was also people who couldn't, get home because. If you can make it here,
just come on in.
We'll give you somewhere warm to sleep, and we'll give you warm foods and warm drinks.
But was there enough staff in there to do it?
All of them
purely volunteers.
Yeah, all volunteers
who live down the road.
Yeah, and some of them who would who work at the stadium.
That is some excellent news.
It's amazing.
I go beyond.
I thought it was really good. I thought it was really, really nice. I thought, they opened up the ground and just said, just come in.
Because on those days, only 4x4s were running. And I around here as well, people in 4x4s were just doing doing little shuttles to the hospitals for people who need to get to the hospitals and stuff, which I think is blooming marvellous, to be honest with you. That's good. That's a bit of good news. That's lightened up, because I was going to talk about negativity in football, but I'll do that later on, because I think it's disappointing. I'm negative.
Yeah, it's that's going to be clipped. Yeah, I thought it was really nice at Sunderland. I thought it was. You didn't see a lot of it. There was another bit. It's not football related, but did you see the Metro had on the Thursday when it started to come down? The Metro had a coupon from McDonald's to go in. If you bring this coupon in, you get a free flat white coffee to launch their flat whites.
Because they were like, "Oh, well, what's a flat white?"
Someone tweeted and said, holding a copy of the Metro, and just went, "There's a lot of homeless people in London. Everyone get this and give it to the homeless." And that got viral. And in the end, McDonald's said, "Look, don't worry about that. The snow's coming down. Anyone who's homeless, you don't need a voucher. Come in, we'll give you a free flat white, plus we'll give you free food."
That's quite nice, isn't it?
Which I thought was lovely. So yeah, it's not football related, but it's Good News Corner. So it's
good news. Let's walk away from Good News Corner.
Let's walk away from Good News into the Championship Casbah.
Okay, right. I pose a question to you this week. When will people take Cardiff City seriously as title contenders? You didn't message back, but I understood you were just deep in thought.
I was deep in thought.
There's a sort of like a statement rather than a...
Yeah, it's going to be... I thought about it for a while, and I thought, right, are people not taking them as seriously because of Neil Warnock? Wolves have got a fashionable manager, and they've got a fashionable team. They play... They've got everything that some people would sort of want.
Yeah.
And the media like. I know, I saw it. One of them is you. Cardiff have got Neil Warnock in charge.
Yeah, I think he's great. And he's got loads of mates in the press and everything, which is great for Cardiff. And he's doing wonderful things. He's motivating a team into the Championship, doing what he does best and getting them into a Premiership, right? And the fact is that he just can't get in the Premiership, unfortunately. But it'll be interesting to see how far he can go with this Cardiff City team. If they get promoted, that'll be amazing.
If
Cardiff get promoted, that'll be great.
Which they will, but
totally great. Because he's done wonders. That's a miracle in itself, by the way. Everyone just thought they were just down there.
The bottom of the Premier League is weird this year because one win.
It's more interesting than the top.
One win, much more interesting. One win can take you from 18th to 13th. Then you lose, and then you're bottom. It's the only thing that's interesting at the top is that Burnley were 6th. They didn't win for something like 2 months, and then they're still 6th.
It's weird, isn't it?
I can't work that out. There's just no one.
If they get 6, that means they'll be into the cup because Man City can't go into the cup now.
Man City won't go into the Europa because of the Carabao Cup win. Because they're obviously going to finish. They're going to win the league. So yeah, Burnley could be Europe, but yeah, this is the top. It's not much of a difference. Liverpool and Man United keep swapping positions, but apart from that, it's not. But down the bottom, it's got very interesting.
Should we move on to negativity in football and negative fans and negative people?
Yeah, should we go on to negativity?
Yeah,
I do like that.
Right. David Gould got abused recently. Unjust. He just got angry mobs. And I thought it was really unfair of just the fact that everyone was just mugging him off. And he's like, was he like 82 or something? Yeah,
he's...
I'm 82. I'm not happy with this either. This is my impression of David Gould.
There's a good one.
I'm not happy with it either. Which you can't say fairer than that. And he does give a damn about his team. As in all football fans do, I just think in Britain especially, they react in such an abusive, horrific way. Yeah. And there's so much hatred around. It's really getting to me now. Like all the stuff with, like, obviously Arsenal, I'm an Arsenal fan, all the stuff of Arsenal and Arsene Wenger recently, which has been stirred up and ridiculously out, just spurred on by the press recently. It's just so disgusting, and I'm just so annoyed with it all. Because I'm actually like, I'm actually a fan of Arsene Wenger, and I just think it's not him. It's really not him doing all this. It's the players have got a lot to answer for, but on the whole, I just think it's just a really negative thing to do. Ooh, quick, do that.
I'll do that.
So negativity is goddamn everywhere, right now, and it's just embarrassing. Where do you go from here? If everyone's got so much hatred, if their team loses, I know it's annoying, I know it's frustrating, and everyone's got to moan and piss and moan and stuff.
Yeah.
But where do you go from there? Like, there's so much negativity. It's just damaging. So I think the media rotate it all, and people just feed off it, and then there's even more hatred and scorn, and there's just never any positivity, really. It's just I feel gutted and disheartened sometimes with the state of football.
It's a bit.
And Arsenal should be careful of what they wish for, because Jesus Christ, they're still performing, right? But it's just not helping anything. And if that involves like a player clear up with Arsenal, like, fair enough. Something has got to change there, but there's just so much scorn, and it just weighs you down. The same with like West Ham, the same as anyone. Is how people react really does my head in.
People react. There's a certain mindset where with fans, you've got people who can see it for what it is, which is a game of football, which is meant to be, yes, it's enjoyable, and obviously you want to see your team win.
Yeah.
However, there's also the element of, well, it's not possible to win every week. It's not going to happen unless you're Man City, and even then, it's.
Yeah, and then you wouldn't be surprised if whatever happens. It's just draining sometimes, when you see how aggressive fans are and how abusive they can be. All right, if you're not happy, but geez, it's still your team.
Yeah.
Like if say Cardiff were to have done that like last season when everything was on a downer, before Neil Warnock came in and just smashed it and put a rocket up everyone, it would have gone the same way. It's hard for teams to break out that negative cycle. Like if they're down, like Cardiff City were, everyone was feeling they were the relegation before Warnock just straightened them out and made them fly right and got players like Sakura to just get back onto it. It's just it takes a lot to do to break that cycle, and teams and fans should just be more supportive, because it would go into like, I don't know, there's just health issues, I think, at hand, especially for those players and the families and everyone involved in that who are trying to do the best job they can. It's just a negative thing and no good can come from it. So I think fans should support their team more. Obviously, it can get frustrating, but no good can come out of that horrificness that is like Arsenal TV.
There's no, I mean, the Arsenal TV
and
thing
look, West Ham recently as well.
The West Ham thing was ridiculous.
It's so hard.
It's just ridiculous. Makes you wonder now, when we live in a society where everything needs to be now. There's no patience at all.
You're not going to get patience.
What would, say, Alex Ferguson, bringing it back to the biggest example that I can think of,
who?
Yeah, when he took over United, obviously you had the banner of 3 years of, of excuses. Ta-ra, Fergie, it's time to leave and stuff. That guy, Peter Molyneux, he's now released a book about it. If he'd taken over at United now, there's no way he'd be given 3.5 years to win, the cup. He won the FA Cup, and he took ages to win that league. He did take ages to win it. That wouldn't happen now. There'd be no patience. He would be sacked after 6 months.
Yeah.
7 months, but then I don't think that's to do with, that's not.
It's the same across Europe on the highest level.
Fans and so on. That's to do with the revenue that is now being brought in.
Yeah, and it's the same across Europe. At PSG, if you don't win the Champions League, you're basically gone, right?
Well, yeah, because PSG, albeit if you look, it's surprising how few times PSG have actually won Ligue 1. They haven't won it that many times, because obviously, don't worry.
No, Gormley's in.
Yes, Gorms.
Gormley Soros.
Right. Gormley has completely ruined my train of thought. Yeah, PSG haven't won Ligue 1 that many times, and
if they don't win the Champions League,
the Champions League is what they need
because what are they invested
to win.
400 million, is it?
Yeah. Well, Lyon dominated Ligue 1 for a long time, a long time. Now it's obviously PSG, except Monaco last season, but you'd imagine that PSG are going to win it more years than anyone else. But their aim, they have to win the Champions League. They have to win it soon. But the problem that you have with, I'm going on to a different subject now, but the problem that you have with PSG is that when you actually look at their squad, it's very thin. Very thin.
Yeah, but that's this mask with fantastic talented players though, right?
Well, they spent 200 and something million on Neymar, when that 200 and something million would probably have been better spent buying an extra centre-half, maybe another striker, because they've only got Cavani.
Yeah, but...
You know, things like that.
Yeah, but you go big, like the...
Well, they bought Neymar and Mbappe on loan, and he's coming in next season, but that's going to be another massive outlay. But they have to win the Champions League soon. And it's the same with anything. That's why clubs managers don't get the time that they used to, because now the money that's involved it far outweighs the money that was in it when Alex Ferguson took over at United in '86.
We're still talking about Alex Ferguson.
Well, it's just the biggest example because he won nothing for nearly 4 years. Fans starting to call for him to be sacked. The club didn't, and then he went on to win more Premier League league titles than Arsenal. Alex Ferguson won more league titles in his 26 years at United than Arsenal have won in their entire history. You know, it
always goes back to Alex Ferguson. Always Fergie with you.
It's the big. But now you get
there's more pressure.
A club of that level.
Yeah,
there's more pressure to be successful because if you're not successful, you're going to get sacked.
Do you like Max
very quickly?
Do you like Max Allegri?
Yeah, I do. I do like Allegri. I think he's. Right, Tottenham are winning 1-0. Yeah,
Sonny boy. I had him on my team this week. Loved it.
Yeah, nice.
Oh yeah,
nice. So yeah, bringing it back to why Cardiff don't take promotions here. I think Neil Warnock plays a big part in that.
It's huge, yeah.
I also think that even if they do get promoted, I think that's the perfect time for him to retire. Imagine that. Took him to the Premier League.
He's not.
He won't.
No, he's not cut it in the Premiership, like in the Premier League. Like, but I'm so interested to see how it rolls on because he's, if not one of the last old boys who's still doing it at a high level. Because none of the others are cutting it as much as Warnock, and he should get a lot of credit for what he's doing.
Yeah.
And I hope he'll get, like, the press love him. They're going to have him on Match of the Day. He's mates in with Gary Line's, isn't he? He'll be great for Cardiff City and like the whole brand, really. He's wonderful.
What they need to do is bring him in, and when they're 15th at Christmas, if they manage to be 15th at Christmas, get rid of him. Look,
it's all going to be ruthless, but I'm just interested to see how it goes.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how it goes. You like Warnock a lot.
The time is now to properly push on because they're 3 points behind Wolves. Yeah. Your beloved Wolves this season. You didn't know he'd be here. You didn't think that Warnock would be around here, but they're just always constantly there.
None
of the pundits have said anything. They've said about all the other clubs around them, but they've never said anything about Cardiff City. Now I've just heard them saying that they should be taken seriously.
Yeah.
Like as a popular opinion. So I think that's an absolute blooming great thing.
Right, we've had a question.
Go on.
Oh, actually, no. There's another question now, which relates to what we were talking about. So Raj is in. Yes, Raj.
Yes, Raj.
Not sure about Warnock as a manager. Maybe a snob, but he is in the Allardyce category. Now, I agree, but you're not going to.
I'm not going to agree on that.
No, I knew you're not going to because you do like Warnock.
Look,
Allardyce. It's not a bad thing.
Allardyce's soul has been taken out of him. Allardyce is a part-time manager who knows exactly what he's doing. He's going to do 6 months, then he's going to off jolly and just still do consistently whatever he wants to do. Allardyce is not. It's just a little job for him. That's a part-time job for him. If he's going to be there for another 6 months, that is it. He's done. He's going to tap out. What he's going to do, he's going to stabilise Everton enough, keep them up, not get them relegated, and then get his pay, and then he's going to move on. There's no soul in it as much as what you're getting from Warnock right now.
Yeah.
Warnock puts every goddamn thing into it, and his man management is fantastic. Now, when I think the wheels may fall off with clubs going up, which I think it probably did happen with Cardiff City when they went up, I think they probably got a bit too big for their boots and thought, yeah, you know, this is it, and avoid getting a leader who they listen to, which is Neil Warnock, who's he's a common dude, isn't he? He's awesome. The way he's going to talk to him, he's not going to massage any egos. He's going to go in there, get stuff done. And I like that. He's got more soul and more heart than Allardyce in any job.
It's true. I think
Tell me that's wrong.
Recently, yeah. I mean, Allardyce at Bolton. But Allardyce is at the wrong...
It's when he
Allardyce is at the wrong club. Allardyce is...
I do what Allardyce
Everton
does.
were never an Allardyce club. Everton were just in a very bad situation.
You should have gone Marco Silva. That's the common sense for what you need for that club.
Because any new manager would turn that club
panicking,
around.
Sam's going to do what Sam does. Keep teams up. Get a system in place. Get some stability. It's a weird choice, but it made sense because Everton were in trouble, man. They were in more trouble than. But I think. But he's going to get the credit he deserves from keeping them up, and that's the primary thing that he needed to do.
Again, I genuinely think that you could have brought in any manager with a decent level of Premier League experience outside of Alan Pardew, who is awful, and they would have turned it around as well. I genuinely do.
You can't tell me Allardyce is. Who would you prefer, Allardyce or what?
Allardyce, oh Jesus. Okay, out of those two, if I would prefer Allardyce. But again,
at that level, he is proven at that level to do what he needs to do. Warnock is not at the high level.
It depends on who you're talking about there.
I just prefer Warnock.
If we're talking Juventus, I prefer neither. If you're talking Notts County, I prefer Warnock. But if you're talking Crystal Palace, I prefer Allardyce.
That's absolutely justified.
You know, it's different levels.
I'm just a fan of him as a person.
Yeah,
but I agree that Allardyce is proven at a higher level. He's proven at Premier League. But I don't know. It's just more fun.
Allardyce or Warnock?
With the spirit of Warnock.
Oh yeah, I mean,
it's great.
I prefer Neil Warnock to Harry Kane, personality-wise. I know that's a ridiculous. I'm not saying as a manager. I'm just saying you want Warnock has got a bit of personality.
Yeah.
Look, we've all seen the was it the 4-year plan? Was it, or the 3-year plan?
It's great, the QPR game.
Yeah, it's a great film. And Warnock comes in and does what Warnock does very well, which is get teams promoted. However, he can't keep them there.
No,
so
we can't.
Realistically, what we've come to the conclusion of here is the best bet for any club out there is get Warnock in when you're championship level, he'll get you promoted, and the minute you get promoted, get Allardyce in, and he'll keep you there.
Yeah, there we are.
There you go. That's how it works.
Get both of them in.
That's how it works. Get Warnock in. They'll do a job share. Warnock will get you promoted to the league, and then when you're in the league, Allardyce will keep you there. There you go. We've solved it.
Right, you got some Redknapp news for me.
Yeah, I got some Redknapp news because Gary Monk has taken over at Birmingham. Birmingham City.
He's lost his mojo, hasn't he?
Birmingham have lost their mojo as an entity.
You're saying there's no mojo?
There's no mojo. They're mojoless. Birmingham City have scored 23 goals in 35 games. Their neighbours, as the Gormley-saurus has just informed us, are 2-0 up. Of course they are. Wolves are just...
The mighty Wolves.
Wolves are going to be an amazing Premier League team. We've said this. They've got money behind them that their owners want to spend, and they're going to come in and they'll buy players. They've got a very good manager. They've got a very good squad. They've already got Diogo Jota.
Interesting system that I've seen.
It's a very interesting system. I mean, we've talked about it before. For those who don't know, just briefly for those who don't know, Wolves owners have essentially brought in Mendes, George Mendes, like the super agent as he's called, and he brings in players like he did Ruben Neves, who would ordinarily have gone to a bigger gone to say he was at
Europe.
He was Porto, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So they stay at a level of that. Porto, Benfica,
and this was a time when
Shakhtar
like,
even.
It was a Wolves project because they just started the season like everyone else. And they
It
just
was a project. But he brought in players. Wolves would never have been able to convince Diogo Jota to come there on loan.
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't have been able to get. They wouldn't have been able to get Neves in, who is. I mean, for those who don't watch a lot of Championship football, watch a Wolves game and watch Neves. He's one of the best passers of the ball I've ever seen. He also is the youngest Porto captain that in I think it's maybe European competition because he captained them when he was 20.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great player and he's a Premier League player. There's no bones that he's a Premier League standard player now. It's just because Mendes is involved in the club. He said, go to Wolves, build a legacy and get your reputation. You'll earn a lot of money, get them promoted, and then eventually we'll move you on to a bigger club. And they've been that upfront about it. It's almost advertising yourselves as a stepping stone, but everyone benefits from it. The club are benefiting from it because they're going to get promoted. They're getting a lot of exposure. I mean, the players are benefiting from because they're going to earn moves to bigger clubs.
Yeah, it's a win. It's a win.
The club will then pay small amounts of money now for them. It's a very
thoughtful system.
Sell them on. Like Jota came in.
Do you think that's going to happen a lot more? If that model works.
Yeah, it could do. It could very well do. I think what you're going to now.
Mendes must be laughing with that play.
Yeah,
he's doing.
He's absolutely doing. There's talk of not Falcao, sorry, of Cavani going there. Like genuine talk about
my favourite player.
The best centre forward in world football, Edinson Cavani. There's talk of Cavani going there because he's got links with Mendes, and they're going to be a Premier League side next year. So they're saying to Cavani, we'll pay you a lot of money. We'll pay you because he was linked with Arsenal. But now the rumour is Wolves are basically saying we'll pay you as much money as Arsenal will, and if it doesn't work out here, well, you can go.
Yeah.
You can go somewhere else, and you'll earn a lot of money somewhere else.
But you will have to live in Wolverhampton.
You will have to live in Wolverhampton. So what we're saying is swings and roundabouts.
Yeah, the Wolves. Where is that? Don't worry about that. Just I'll pay you. Just come on.
The name Wolves is going to help.
Yeah.
The name Wolves is going to help. If you, where am I going to play? Wolves. Oh, imagine you don't have the same.
Wolverhampton. Wolves.
Where are you going to play? Accrington.
I play with Wolves.
Wolves helps. I'm telling you.
Wolves helps. Redknapp.
But yeah, so Redknapp, who I mean, if Birmingham had kept him, they wouldn't be in this situation because you obviously would have got them promoted.
He's with Sandro, isn't he?
Well, he signed like 30 odd players. There's no way that you can't sign that many players and not get promoted. He signed. What he tried to do is like the 4-year plan that they had at QPR. He just condensed it into 4 months. That's all he did. He tried to rush it through. And as anyone who's ever played Championship Manager knows, squad just goes out the window.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have the comment. Yeah. So Redknapp, he couldn't help himself. He's commented. He's coming on Sido. Mr. Berahino, as we're in the Wolverhampton, Birmingham. It's a very West Midlands-esque podcast this week, isn't it? It's very West Midlands-centric. He's gone in 2-footed straight away. Good old Harry. He's gone in with both feet.
Gone in. 100%.
What a waste of talent. Never fit. What a disgrace. I'm going to stop you there, Harry. I see what you're saying. I take umbrage at the never fit. Never fit is what he said. This is a man who gave up playing, who gave up managing football.
Oh, look, he's ill.
He is ill, but he gave up managing football because he said he couldn't make the car walk anymore. Like he stopped taking, he's nowhere near training.
He's got a lift in.
You got to lift. Well, that's why you go every.
Let's not knock Harry. Yeah.
I mean, we do love Harry.
Everyone's got an opinion.
No one loves him more than Kevin Bond. Again, long listeners of the podcast will remember the story of Kevin Bond. Essentially, when Harry Redknapp gets given a job, he says, "You've got to take Bondy," because they live near each other, and Kevin Bond drives him to training. I mean, that is an.
Everyone could do the
Bond was with him at Southampton, Portsmouth, Tottenham. Birmingham, every club that read QPR, every club.
Close to England.
It's unbelievable. It's ridiculous. Like, imagine that in your contract.
Get Bondi.
You've got to bring Kevin Bondi. Let's not.
everyone needs a Bondi.
We've got our own. We've got some good young coaches here. We think you could use them. Yeah, but do any of them live on my street and can drive?
Thought so. Get him in.
He's got to come because otherwise I can't make training. It's ridiculous. So yeah, he said, "What a disgrace." He's got ability, so he's brought it around there.
Yeah.
When's he going to show it? Okay.
Oh, backhanded that.
Backhanded. He's got talent, but when's he going to show it? Okay, I see what you've done. Backhanded. His manager comes out and says he's not fit enough to play. How sad is that?
All right, it's digging the nice one there.
Yeah, he's digging. We're not talking about injuries, just physical fitness. Okay. I mean, he's basically saying Saido Berahino is never fit enough to play 90 minutes of football, which, is fair enough. Let's be honest, Saido Berahino is not doing anything to show us otherwise.
I feel bad for him because that's just a wild attack. I know he probably needs a rocket under his bum, but...
Not Harry Redknapp. You don't need a Harry Redknapp rocket under your back.
You don't, considering how he's got...
Least of all, Sandra.
Unless, yeah.
She's had enough Harry Redknapp rockets.
Unless he's got, I don't know.
Berahino, look, he's
unfortunate.
He's unfortunate, but at the end of the day, I know I'm friends with a West Brom fan, and he remember the Berahino. He
got poo list basically.
Well, he sent him to fat camp. He says what he did, didn't he? He sent Berahino to fat camp, and Berahino then decided to put posts up on Twitter and Instagram and so on of him with his shirt off, and he was ripped. But essentially, he was there because he wasn't fit enough, because he doesn't take it seriously. But Redknapp's gone in straight away and said it. There is an element, like I say, there is an element of truth there, because West Brom did send him to a fat camp, which was not to lose weight.
Do they call it fat camp?
No, but it's where people go to lose weight.
So
okay, it's a boot camp.
All right,
like Nuffield. We went to David Lloyd, but it's where people go to lose weight.
He went to Chubby Club.
Yeah, essentially, he went to a Weight Watchers retreat. But he did it to try and get fit.
A health retreat.
A health retreat. He went to a health resort. Decided to post pictures of him looking very good with his shirt off, but he can't run for 10 minutes without breaking into a sweat.
He's never fit, though.
No, he's never fit. But what I liked about this the most from Redknapp was he went from, we're not about injuries, physical fitness. There's more to it driving a flash car without... Where's the car come from? Why?
I thought it was all about the flash car.
He was all over the place, Redknapp. He's just never fit. There's more to it than driving a flash car. What? See,
told you about this before.
There's more to it. We never read anything good about the kid. He's driving a car at 100 and God knows how many miles an hour. That's his quote. That is a quote from a genuine grown-up. There's more to it than driving a flash car. We never read anything good about this kid. And like I said, this is verbatim. He's driving a car at 100 and God knows how many miles an hour.
But 100.
I don't think he is. I don't think he is, Harry.
I love that of Harry.
I love him. I'm glad that Harry's back in the corner. Like, we were devastated when Birmingham let go of him.
Don't know. I was worried about you.
One of my favourite stories of this season was at the start of the year when he was Birmingham City manager, and he said that his top 4 transfer targets were Stuart Downing, Robbie Keane, Ashley Cole, and Crouchy.
What about Nico Crankier?
He tried getting Nico back. Nico's knees are worse than Harry's.
He tried.
The funny thing about this whole story, though, is why I brought it in. One, because it's just nice to see Redknapp saying stuff in the press.
Yeah.
I looked back on it, and at the start of the year, he tried to sign Berahino for Birmingham.
Bit better that.
Yeah, tried to bring him in.
Rolled up with a fancy car.
He finished it by saying, every manager's not wrong, are they? They're not idiots. Tony Pulis isn't. Paul Lambert's not a fool. We're talking about good managers, good people who understand what it takes to be a top player. This kid obviously isn't showing what it takes.
And you should have signed for me when I signed 1 million players for Birmingham.
Oh, he's terrible. No manager can get anything out of him.
Bobby.
No.
Say no. Nah.
Do you want to sign for Birmingham? No.
What was the question off Anchor that we had?
The question off Anchor, we're saying about the youth not at Arsenal. We've done so well. The youth at Anchor, the youth at Arsenal. We were talking. I know, but he's not positive. We saying about how we talked about the youth at Arsenal being given more of a chance than they were doing, but we still think that they deserve more of a chance. Now, his argument, the great man that sent in a question, which we do appreciate, was, okay, they are being given a chance, but they're not taking that chance and not showing that they actually deserve it. Which I don't agree with as such, but I can see what he means. But then again, who else is showing that they deserve it in the Arsenal squad?
How many other teams is there?
No, there's Monreal has done his bit throughout the season. Mustafi, I'm a massive fan of, but he's gone well off the boil.
Right, okay.
I'm a massive fan of Mustafi, and I think he's a very good centre-back. And I think if he could easily, I said this to someone else who's an Arsenal fan, I think Mustafi could very, very easily slot into Bayern's defence and you wouldn't blink.
Do you want to hear the problem with Mustafi here all the time? He's not willing to take responsibility when he's messed up.
Yeah, okay. It's a big one.
That'd be really annoying, wouldn't it? He's going to cry about and be a baby about it when he's the one that's made a boo-boo. And then he can't face up to the fact that he made a mistake. That's a big issue.
Yeah.
As you say, I was reading today, as we're still on Arsenal, just last bit of Arsenal news, yeah?
Hey, I'm fine with it.
It's about wage structure in there, and there could be some unsettling issues with the fact that, you've got superstar players like Mesut on ridiculous amounts of money and a good, solid professional being on like less than half that, basically.
Yeah.
Would that annoy you? That would annoy you.
Yeah.
Like, what are you saying? If you was that said, awesome professional, his job solid, yeah, but these quality players, these high class players we hear they're in, and it goes from being, if you're on 90 grand, a week, and these were on 130, that's not that bad. You can deal with that, that's understandable, that gap. To jump from that 130 new contract, boom, to 300,000 a week, then you're still here being like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Would you have issue with that?
Well, I do think about it. I thought about it from a slightly different context in that youth players...
If this is the case, this is speculation.
Yeah,
but it's an interesting concept to be professional for professional footballers, because everyone else would be like, well, that's the contract I signed. That's on me.
Yeah, it's just... Right, okay, let's look into the...
Not necessarily Arsenal. Like
just talk about... Okay, we just talked about side of Berahino.
Man United, like, their wage structure is off the charts right now, right?
The wage structure is at United is actually like the whole Sanchez thing.
What is Sanchez on?
Right, as far as what's been reported, he's on parity with Paul Pogba, which makes them the highest paid footballers in the Premier League, which is about $250 a week.
Okay. Well, after tax and everything else?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
However, there genuinely players in the Chinese league now who struggled in the Championship who are on more than that.
Yeah, but that's economies of scale, isn't it? That's just like what
that's what they're paying, because that's how much money is in the league. That is the way that it's going. The money that Pogba's on pales into comparison to the money that Messi signed, isn't it, on his new contract, and Neymar's on at PSG. Both of those contracts, Carlos Tevez got more on his contract when he was in China, and Hulk, who is in China now, and Nicholas Gaitan, who's just gone there.
Gaitan is in China.
They're on more money than Messi.
But that's what you get for
now.
Going there.
If you are Lionel Messi and you sign a new contract to Barcelona that makes you the highest paid footballer in Europe, do you look at that contract and say, okay, well, I'm on a pay rise? Or do you look at that contract and then go back to them and go, hang on a minute, Nicholas Gaitan is on more than me?
He's a good player, though.
He's not Messi.
No, but you want to get Nicholas Gaitan to go over there.
What I suppose my point is that it all depends on the league. There are probably more talented players. It depends on how you view talent. But say for me, Will Hughes is a very talented young footballer. He does have. He might not. he should have a bright future.
He's got potential. Yeah.
He's got very good potential. I really liked him at Derby. He's now doing very well at Watford. He's just come back and he played very, very well in the last game. It was nice to see. I like players like Will Hughes. We've talked about this before. I love seeing young players develop and prosper. That's what I like.
That's what your your football management style is, isn't it?
Yeah, that's how I like to see football played. It must be in one way disheartening to see that football, as a footballer, you're not paid based on talent almost.
Yeah.
There's going to be players who play in the Premier League who are more than Will Hughes, and Will Hughes is better.
It's just a strange mindset to put ourselves in on that amount of money to be a young professional. And, if we're going back to if that is the case with Arsenal, or with any club, those players would have to have brass balls to go in to ask for to have an issue against that, right?
Yeah, there's not going to be any payment. Raj has just said Pogba's earning less than Sanchez, isn't he? Don't think he has a parity clause. There are all those stories about Pogba knocking on Jose's door demanding parity. It depends. We're never going to know. We're never going to know. However, from journalists,
sorry, you just painted a very descriptive thought in my head. Then that Paul Pogba just keeps knocking.
Yeah.
He's always there. Is that Paul again? Get him out of here. Tell him to go training. I'm fed up of it.
From the journalists, which I follow on Twitter, and there's a couple who follow me. So we have, we sort of chatted from years and years, and there's a couple on there who have said that Sanchez is not paid more than Pogba. Sanchez was brought in on the same contract as Paul Pogba is on now. And the disruption that it caused with Paul Pogba was because he had a highest earners clause in his contract.
And he has to do it.
But it wasn't like as soon as he comes in, you get a 5% pay rise if someone's paid the same as you. But it was basically something that said, if someone comes in and are paid the same as you, we will then negotiate a contract. And apparently it was in the next 12 months. So when they brought him in, the problem was they had to sit with Paul Pogba and say, yes, we know, we will discuss a new contract with you. But Jose Mourinho said not now, because he was expecting it to be straight away. It would be, not an extension, just like an extra year, but it would be a new contract. But apparently the problem was Jose Mourinho stalled on it and said no and wouldn't say go ahead because he felt Pogba's performances had dipped.
I see.
But he's on the same as Sanchez. Is what again, we're never going to know, but that's what I've been told from people who I trust.
We'll never know.
We'll never know.
Do you know I brought in fantasy football this week?
Yeah, should we finish on fantasy football?
Do you know, I can Sterling until he's back, but Man City don't know what they're going to do.
I've kept Sterling.
Yeah. I brought in Riyad Mahrez.
Interesting.
Yeah, he spanked home 10 points.
Interesting.
Win.
Who have Leicester got?
They've got a good run now.
Yeah, I did.
But that Mahrez goal was beautiful. Do you see him running off as soon as he hit it? Because as soon as he passed the wall, he was celebrating straight up.
I brought in. I went a bit left field, and I brought in Zanka.
Yeah, you did, didn't you?
I brought in Zanka because they've got Swansea at home.
Crazy.
And I'm not making him captain.
You're sticking with Theo, yeah?
Yeah, well, he was the next one that was going. But Everton have got a decent fixture.
Doesn't matter if Theo Walcott. Doesn't matter, Theo Walcott.
He's done quite well. But yeah,
you're keeping him in there
for the time being. But yeah, I brought Zanka in this week because Huddersfield next fixtures are Swansea, Palace, Newcastle, Brighton, and Watford.
Fair enough. Who are you going to bring this week?
That's my transfer this week.
Oh, that's it. Done.
That's it. I've already done it. I've done it early. And then next week there's going to be problems because there's only 4 games.
Yeah.
Week after next.
I'm going to play my free hit there.
Well, another reason.
Have you played yours already?
Yeah, I played.
I haven't played anything.
Huddersfield were one of the teams that are playing next week, so that was another reason behind my thinking, and also another reason behind my thinking of keeping Walcott because Everton have got a fixture.
Still Walcott,
even though, yeah, but he'll still get 2 points that other people won't get because they won't have him.
Yeah, they only 2 points. All right, fair enough. Well, we're going to leave it here. Thanks for joining us, guys. If you've got anything to say, especially, I want to hear what if there's anyone got anything to say about negativity, especially in football. That'd be really cool, because I am personally just fed up of seeing so much negativity in football, especially with fans being so aggressive. And I understand it's a huge part. You know, you care for it, you care about passion, you saved up your money to go with the week, this, that, and the other. But I just don't see a need to be so angry and aggressive. I don't think it actually does anything good for anyone. So more positivity is what I want.
So yeah, let us know.
A call to arms for more positivity.
What I would just to round that, if you've got, go and download the Anchor app.
Try Anchor, guys, because it's really good.
It's really good go. So yeah,
we're trending at number the 12th most listened to on Anchor right now.
12th at the minute.
So that's pretty good, because this is just a little extra. This Facebook malarkey, isn't it?
The Facebook was just always going to be a little extra.
You guys.
It was the podcast. So yeah, Anchor with the 12th most listened to podcast. So yeah, download the app and you can favorite it and listen to it on there, and it's on the go.
Send us some stuff.
But the best thing about what we like about Anchor is that you can, instead of replying and sending us a comment, you can record a comment and send it in, and then we can edit that in to the podcast, which would be really nice.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Muchos gracias.
And before we go, people who are just watching on Anchor, don't forget to go follow us on Twitter at the FIFA Ramble, like us on Facebook, the FIFA Ramble, follow us on Instagram at the FIFA Ramble, and then go onto YouTube and make sure that you follow us on the Calhoun Review.
Nice one. Right.
Thanks very much.
Bye, guys. Thanks, YouTube. Bye.